What's poppin' pepperonis? It's your boy Doc, and we're here doing the thing one day at a time. Today's video is something that I've been wanting to do for a hot minute, and I gotta tell y'all, everything that you're gonna see is actually worth it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
It's showtime!
When I started this project, I didn't want to get a lot of things that were over the budget necessarily. I just wanted to get something that was good quality for the price point it was at. So up first, we've got the HyperX Cloud Stinger Core headset. We've also got a USB A to A cable that we're going to be needing. The next essential item is the 64GB micro SD card. We've also got an HDMI video capture card. Spoiler alert, it's pretty good. Next up is the Steelseries Rival 310. That's a lot better than I expected considering my personal preference. This is the Wyze Security Cam V2 that we're going to be turning into a webcam. And last but not least, a Velocifier wired mechanical keyboard. And let me tell you, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. So the first item I'll be showcasing is the Cloud Stinger Core by HyperX. Personally, I picked the PlayStation 4 version, but they also make an Xbox version. Both of them start at $40, and this is a well-rounded headset. With an adjustable microphone, volume knob, and microphone muting switch, this is the perfect starter headset whether you're on console or PC. Personally, I'm a huge fan of HyperX products, but despite that, the sound quality surprised me considering the price. One of the things I thought was a nice detail was that instead of printing any kind of manual or little booklet, on the inside of the packaging there is a quick start guide to help you make sure that everything is ready to go. In just a second, I'll be switching over to the microphone on the headset, then I'll be showing you my reaction to listening to music. So currently I am using the microphone on the HyperX headset. I have not done any tuning. This is exactly how it sounds, just out of the packaging. The next product I'll be talking about is the SteelSeries Rival 310. Coming in at just $40, you're getting an optical sensored mouse that can reach up to 12,000 dpi, with 6 different programmable buttons that have Omron switches and customizable RGB settings through their free software. The Steelseries Engine software is very user-friendly, but the main thing I want to showcase is how perfect it is for whatever FPS you decide to play. Whether it be Battlefield, Call of Duty, Overwatch, Rogue Company, or any others that I didn't list. Coming in at just 88 grams, if you're used to a heavier mouse like I am, this can either make or break your KD spread. Next up is the Wyze Security Cam V2. It's not quite ready to become a webcam just yet, so I'm going to take a few extra minutes out of your time in this video to explain everything so that you don't have to find a tutorial later. The other items that you'll be needing are a micro SD card and a USB 3.0 Type A to Type A cable. Now, the specific ones that I picked up will be linked in the description as well as everything else. However, there is an asterisk with one of these items, and I'll be explaining that later. The total of these 3 products comes to $46, which is right under our budget. After everything was said and done, I've seen worse quality out of webcams that cost even more. Inside the box, you're given the camera itself, which sits on an adjustable magnetic stand, an adhesive strip that attaches to the included metal disc, a wall adapter, and a 6-foot micro USB cable. I will admit, this took about 4 or 5 attempts, but once I had everything figured out, I was able to set up and test the camera in OBS, Discord, Zoom, and Skype. If you have any issues along the way, please reach out to me and I'll do the best I can to assist you. Now, the asterisk that I mentioned earlier was that the SD card that I specifically purchased came in EXFAT format, or exFAT format, or EXFAT format. The problem is that it needs to be converted to FAT32 format. If you don't understand what that means, it's perfectly fine because honestly, I don't have a good way of explaining it either. However, I do know the fix for it, and I'm going to walk you through every single step. You'll want to select the little icon that shows PW12 free. Go ahead and double click that. You'll see a menu come up that says select set of language. I'm going to choose English. Okay. Now, this is the part that you need to uncheck 2 of the boxes. You'll need to uncheck the participate in the customer experience improvement program and the Shadow Maker trial. We only need the partition wizard free. Click next. Select the drive that you want it installed on. I'm going to leave it on the default selection. Now, since I've already had it installed, it says that this folder already exists. You won't get this pop-up, but I'm going to go ahead and install to that folder anyway. Now, if you get a pop-up that is similar to this looking, if it says McAfee Web Advisor or anything along those lines, you'll want to decline the offer. It may take more than a few seconds for you to install it, but once it's done, you'll see something that says Finish to exit setup. Make sure the box is checked to launch MiniTool Partition Wizard and hit Finish. Now we can move over to the window. I'm going to go ahead and move this so you can see everything that I'm doing. Now is the section where you want to plug in the SD card, because you'll want to take a look at each of the drives that are in your computer. If you only have one, then the other one will be disk 2. The main thing that you want to look for is whether it is disk 1, disk 2, or disk 3, or disk 7 if you have that many drives, is you want to find the number matching the storage that matches the description of the card that you purchased. So if you purchased 128 gigabytes worth of storage on an SD card, it will show a number close to 128. The main thing that you want to look for is over on the right hand side, where it shows the higher number of used storage. It will show NTFS or FAT32. In the case of the SD card that I purchased, it showed exFAT. I don't have that card currently installed, but I will walk you through the steps anyways. So we'll select this one, we'll go ahead and format, file system, change to FAT32. Okay, now under here it'll say operations pending. It will say 1, format, and then the disk and partition you selected. Hit apply. Another window will pop up and you'll be done. I'm not going to walk through those steps because I don't want to wipe everything that's on this drive currently. Once that's said and done, you can go ahead and click the X, quit the program. However, we're not quite done at the computer just yet. We need to do one more thing. The next thing that we'll need to do is we'll need to add the downloaded file that I've mentioned in the description below to the SD card itself. If you don't have 7-zip, WinZip, or a zip file converter or opener, I will link another one in the description as well. Once you have all that stuff installed, the next thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to download the folder that says v2webcam.zip. You'll need to open that up and you'll see 3 different options. You'll see Mac OS X, demo.bin, and a PDF with webcam firmware on it. What you can do is you can select all 3 of these items and you can drag and drop them directly into the SD card. Now we're finished on the computer, you can eject the SD card and go ahead and insert it into the webcam. So there is actually one final step that you'll need to do in order to get the Wyze Cam functioning fully. Once you have everything onto the SD card, you'll want to open up the webcam. Well, not exactly open it, but you'll want to fold open the stand. The SD card is going to go on this side right here, and I know you can't see it very well, but there's a button right about there. What you'll need to do is you'll need to hold that button down while you plug this type A cable into your computer, and the other end goes into the webcam. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you on camera, but the lights that you want to look for are first an orange tint, then more of a light blue, light purple type tint. Once it starts flashing that light purple tint, it'll flash at a normal pace once everything is actually done. What you're doing is you're formatting the camera and kind of resetting it, then basically inserting all the things that we put into the SD card into the camera itself. And it looks like I just got the light. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the camera. I'm holding it with my hand, so it's going to be very unsteady, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. And let me just put it up in the same position that the stream cam is in. And here we are. Now, the one thing that I will mention is that there aren't any adjustable settings within OBS, Streamlabs. You can't really adjust anything except for the brightness and the white balance and things like that, but there's no zoom, there's no exposure settings, anything. So this is exactly what you guys are going to get once you have everything said and done. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Velocifier TKL02 wired mechanical keyboard. This is a TKL keyboard, meaning that it has 87 total keys. So I believe that the switches are Gateron Browns, and it's a lot better than I expected, honestly. One of the things that I will tell you is that the instruction manual that it comes with is fairly self-explanatory, but Unfortunately, I didn't actually read that upon recording this, so here in a little bit, you're going to be seeing me trying to figure out how exactly the lights work, and then at the end of the section, I'll be doing a sound test on the keyboard. So, as far as using keyboards itself, I wouldn't exactly say that I'm an enthusiast, but I do like my clicky-clacky mechanical switches. My very first keyboard was a Razer Black Widow. It didn't have the RGB settings or anything, it was just a blue LED. And then I had a Black Widow Chroma. Then I ended up upgrading to the An Pro 2, which I currently have now. The next step is going to be building a custom board, which, when that happens, you guys are going to see it. Anyhow, too much rambling. So, there are a few things that I want to talk about with this keyboard, and the only thing that really bothered me about it was the fact that the cable that's attached to it, like the USB cable, it's a very weird texture. It's kind of hard to explain unless you know exactly what I'm talking about, but the feeling is like gummy worms that have already been licked and sat on the counter to dry. That's really the only thing that bothered me, is that very strange texture that it has. So as far as the lighting features go, there are some reactive keys that you can see me testing here. There are a couple starlight features where, you know, the lights will cycle from P to Z and then from 1 to M, and they'll just kind of shoot around. Here we have kind of a rubber band feature. There are different types of reactive functions that this keyboard has. I believe it has a total of 11 cycles. I didn't count, and I didn't bother to read that far into the manual, honestly. The thing that I was more curious about was the type of switches that it had, which, again, I'm almost positive are Gateron Browns, Gatorade Browns, whatever you want to call them, and the functionality of the keyboard itself. So overall, the typing experience was pretty decent. I didn't really have anything to complain about, like the texture of the keys, or I'm not going to get really crazy into it or anything, but, you know, the typing experience was fairly pleasant. So here in a second, I'll be giving you a typing test, and you can see exactly what it sounds like. The last product in this video is the USB capture card, and being able to get a functional capture card or camera link for anywhere near $25 is insane. The card has minimal latency, it's fairly simple to set up, and I'd recommend this to any content creator that's in search of one and on a budget. Inside the box, you're just getting the capture card and a USB extension cord. Here in a second, I'll be switching over to OBS so that I can show you how to set it up properly. Now that we're in OBS, I can show you guys how to configure everything so that your capture card is 100% ready to go. The first thing that we want to do is hit the plus button down here, and we'll want to add a video capture device. You can create new and name it whatever you want. I've already got it, so I don't need to re-add it, but then you'll hit OK. You'll want to right click on the video capture device and click properties, and it's going to look like this. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to show you all the settings you need to do. So make sure that the USB video is selected as your device. You want to scroll down a little bit and change the resolution type from custom device default, to custom. Then you'll want to come to resolution and do 1920 by 1080. Change the FPS over to highest. You want video format to be any, color space default, color range, which is where you would change from default to full. Buffering can be left alone. Audio output mode, it needs to be capture only, but this box needs to be checked. So use custom audio device, and the device you're selecting is the digital audio interface. Then hit OK. When you turn the console on, or when you finally have the console plugged in, it should look something like this. Now that you've got your equipment set up, you're ready to stream and create content. If there are any questions that you guys have, feel free to DM me or leave a comment on this video. Whatever is the easiest way for you is the easiest way for me. If you watched up until this point, I appreciate you more than anything, and I was so stoked to make this, and if you want more, let me know. But until the next video, stay tuned and stay rad. I'll catch y'all later.